Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Faithful Faith TV. How are you all doing, my people? I want to say a huge thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining this family. I really appreciate you. To my returnees, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos each time I upload any new videos. I really appreciate you all. May God Almighty bless you all abundantly. And wherever you're watching me from, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My faithful people, I greet you all. Wonder the say shall never ever end. My people, this is one horrible thing about APC people. Anything that did not go their own way or work out in their favor, it will look like the whole Nigeria should turn upside down. Just take a look at the strike issue. Because they could not stop the strike, they turned around and started pointing finger at Peter Obi. This is one thing about APC. The see finish is just too much. Anything that did not go their own way, they will always have Peter Obi to blame. I don't know why they are like that. I don't know. Tinubu and Shetima's publicity secretary for the campaign, Bayo Anoga, has started it already. He said, I am wondering the person's idea that NLC is pushing. When Peter Obi said this, they did not complain. It is our own turn now. They are going political. You see, these people, they have started blaming Peter Obi for their mess. My people, please watch this video.
Issued by Nigeria Labour Congress to the federal government in the wake of the petrol subsidy removal to revert to the old price of petrol or face a nationwide protest starting from Wednesday, June 7th. Joe Ajaero, the president of the Labour Union, said that it was illegal for the federal government to flout the Appropriation Act of 2023, which makes provision for subsidy till the end of June, demanding that the old price of 185 naira per litre for petrol must be reinstated before any negotiations can begin. In the same vein, the union boycotted a meeting with a federal government delegation at the presidential villa over the subsidy removal. Other unions, including the electricity workers, under the aegis of National Union of Electricity Employees and the Nigeria Union of Journalists, have said that they will join the Nigeria Labour Congress in its planned strike over the removal of petrol subsidy. Well, Bayo Ononuga, the Media and Publicity Secretary of the Tinubu-Shetima campaign, in a lengthy tweet, accused the NLC president of playing politics and acting the script of the opposition Labour Party that are out to destabilize the young Tinubu administration. His tweet reads in part, "Besides, one wonders whose interests Ajaero is championing when he did not oppose the position of his Labour Party and presidential candidate who campaigned with a promise to scrap subsidy from day one if elected. The NLC and TUC leaders knew since last year November that subsidy will be scrapped from July 1st, as no provision has been made in the budget for it beyond this date. The federal government, which already commits 96% of its revenue in servicing debt, is not in any position to continue selling subsidized fuel, most of which is smuggled across our borders for criminal and obscenely unpatriotic profit. Well, more reactions from this street. This is from H2H, who wrote, "Did Tinubu not occupy the streets of Lagos when Jonathan proposed this same policy? Then even with lower pump price compared to now, integrity is the beginning of every good venture. You cannot arrive at a good destination from the wrong way. Tinubu's Writers Association, they have all sharpened their pen and paper." Well, Dikbo wrote, "In 2012, Nigeria was so rich that we could have revived all our refineries, so it was justified to kick against this subsidy removal. Today, Nigeria is broke, and payment of any further subsidies would only plunge Nigeria into more debt, as the funds would have to be borrowed. This is the reality, so no serious government will ever continue on that route unless we are not ready to develop as a nation." Well, another Twitter user there goes, "It was miscalculated to remove subsidy on Inauguration Day. If the subsidy ends in July, why remove it in May? countries that have removed subsidy has various interventions for workers and the poor in the society. The minimum wage in Ghana is 75,000 naira. Nigeria is 30,000 naira. Well, Dr. Abati, I'll come to you on this story. I know we have discussed it at length, but I thought that it was good to highlight the fact that, the Tinubu administration has said that they will review the minimum wage, but that is beyond the point at this time. I believe I heard you earlier talk about journalist strike, which is where I want to, it's not funny, but it is the fact that, are you coming to work on Wednesday? If the journalists go out to protest and electricity protests at this point will plunge us into darkness.
It's just to point out, the kind of dire situation in which Nigerians have found themselves because of the disruption in the policy formulation process. We just jumped from policy formulation straight to policy implementation without setting the agenda very clearly, without ensuring the buy-in of stakeholders to create a sense of ownership among the people before you now, adopt it. Create that ownership, then you begin implementation. After implementation, we begin to look at the evaluation of impact. Yun and Quinn, 1989. That's what those two authors recommended. But here we are now with this reality. The government is saying this is a campaign promise. Yes, the whole idea is that when you go and make a campaign promise, you fulfill it. And that was why Bayo Ononuga was saying there that, look, even the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, talked about removal of fuel subsidy. And we have said on this program that there seems to be a consensus that the fuel subsidy regime, is unsustainable. We've been there since how many years? Since Yaradua, since President Jonathan. The issue has always been how to think through all of this. So that's not the bone of contention. That's not what the NLC or the TUC are opposed to. What they are opposed to is the implementation, is how the process has been jumped, creating tension. And it's as follows. The question is, before President Buhari himself left, he was talking about palliatives. There was a certain $800 million that government said will be used to address the plight of the most vulnerable, about 50 million households. What has happened to that? There was a lot of talk about providing transportation. Where is the talk about that? All of a sudden, we just woke up and we have been told, well, May 29 date, now the subsidy has been removed. We were told that the incoming administration will meet with the outgoing administration and certain, decisions will be taken. Now, what was the outcome of that consultation? It's not enough to just give a soundbite and say, we promised and now we have delivered. What should come first? Is it the palliatives or is it the action itself? What will reassure the people or what will discourage them? As, to the point about, Ajero and NLC, they are pursuing a political agenda. Well, look, the NLC and the TUC, they made it very clear during the election that they were supporting the Labour Party.
Yes.
So there was nothing hidden about that. But to now read that political motive, into something that affects all Nigerians, that would be, which will amount to stretching the argument too far. Labor, organized labor, is asking specific questions. Reverse first. Let us negotiate. Let us dialogue. You cannot argue against dialogue or negotiation. And people have been mounting new national minimum wage. The current minimum wage in Nigeria is 30,000 naira. That 30,000 naira cannot even give elegant and delectable, Ojineka lunch.
It's 30,000 naira. It cannot.
Many of the states,
absolutely.
Many of the states who were part of this new minimum wage, April 2019.
Right.
Up to now, many of them have not paid. They say they don't have money.
That is the issue.
Any man, any woman, or any human being as a whole that cannot take responsibility of his or her action is a confused person. Tinubu, Are you listening to what the people are saying at all? It's not about fighting by fire by force to be the president of Nigeria. It's about doing the good work in it. Instead of you to look for how to clean all this mess, you are looking for who to blame. Always looking for who to blame. One thing I see here, I've said it before, you don't need anybody to interpret it for you. This is all fear. This is all fear in APC. That means Peter Obi has been a threat to this APC. They are just acting based on Peter Obi's plan. You see, this is where they got it all wrong. Trying to do what Peter Obi said or trying to do Peter Obi's plan is wrong. You ought to have your own plan, not knowing Peter Obi has his own way of doing it. Peter Obi has his own way of doing it that will favor the people of Nigeria. Just take a look at how you messed up things and you are looking for who to blame for your mess. That's absolutely wrong. Look for how you are going to clean all this mess up and stop looking for who to blame. My people, thank you so much. I really appreciate you all. Please, if you have not subscribed, kindly support your sister. Subscribe, like, comment, share. And also turn on your bell notification that you will be notified each time I upload any new video. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.